Day trading recap, guys. May 26th, Spartan here. Really great day. Probably one of the best days for follow through, I think, in the last couple of months. We played it extremely well. So we came in today, and what we were looking at was the SPY daily chart. I'm going to break it down for you guys really quick, what I was looking at. So market did break this downtrend channel. That was the first step. Second step was the market was coming off of the bottom channel as well on the daily. So that's a big support area to bounce off of. Typically, you get towards the 50 MA. The XOK was actually a big part of that. XOK breaking back above 135. I believe I talked about it in last day's video. As well as we got this EMA support reclaim on the daily. Those three things led me to be quite bullish on the market today. I don't think we played really anything to the short side besides DG, which worked out nicely. But anyways, that was my thesis coming into the day, and it simply worked quite well. Now, what did we do on the equity side? We came in. I was thinking that Tesla's going to get a squeeze to the upside because of that. And basically all tech or higher beta, you're going to see money being put to work in those names. And that was the case. We came in, we bought Tesla equity. We had 680 calls overnight, as well as we rolled in the 730s, which went up about 300%. The 680 calls went about, I think it was 655%. And the equity, we got about 54 points on that to the upside. So fantastic trade there. Equity and options, we did do a little bit of AVGO from 546 into the 554 area. Nice little trade there. We did some shop end of the day long on the equity side. Right off the 50 EMA, got a nice little bounce into EMA resistance. That ended up being a really good trade for us as well. What else did we do? We did some Lulu long right out the gate. Basically, I saw that retailer names were looking much better. Lulu had that upgrade on it. And I actually had an equity short on the name. We covered it pre-market. We flipped it long on the open, and we rolled this up for about 11 points to the upside. So that was a nice little trade there as well. LITM, I was looking at the other name, lithium names pushing. This one's lagging behind them. It was extended on the daily to the downside. So we grabbed some long on the swing yesterday. We grabbed some long or added into our position today to full size, and we got a nice little move there. So I'll be looking for further continuation on that one to the upside going forward. Other names that we did take on the equity side this morning, we did take NVIDIA. And I talked about NVIDIA yesterday after earnings to the group. I was basically explaining to them, okay, this is what we got on the earnings. It was a beat. You have bad guidance, but it's holding up, which means you got bad news on the earnings and relative strength, so you're probably going to get a squeeze. That's exactly what happened. We grabbed it long out the gate. We got a nice little trade for about 8 points to the upside. We ended up rolling NVIDIA into 175 calls. Those went up about 700% intraday. So that was a really nice trade on both the equity and option side. Very, very dialed on that one. DG was the only short that we did take when the EMA support did break. We got about 3 points on that to the downside. So that was a decent one. We did do the GME long on the equity side right out the gate as well, 121s. We rolled that all the way up. We had 140 calls overnight as well that we got about like 650% on that one as well on the option side. So equity, I think, what was that, 21, like 18, 20 points, something like that. I can't remember exactly. I'll have to look back, but I'm trying to go a little bit quicker here. So that was a really nice one there. Baba, we did scalp this one long as well, and we rolled those calls in 95 calls this morning, and those ended up getting the money for about, I think it was not 100%, about 90% on that. There's a little bit of weird premium on that one today. But overall, equity side, really good. I'm trying to find anything that didn't work. I believe we had one trade that did not work today, and it was USAG. Everything else worked. Oh, we did Indo as well long. That one worked out for 75 cents to the upside. And then we had USAG at 404, and we ended up just exiting that one because it didn't work. So, lost a couple cents on it, whatever, not a big deal. Overall, super high hit rate on the equity side. Option side was very good today. So we had a lot of stuff coming into the day, like target 155s. We had 160s. We rolled those up to 165s as well. The target 165s went up by like 655, 670%, something like that. The 160s, about 200% and change, 260%, and then the 165s, I think it was about 80% at the end of the day there. So not a bad little trade. We had a AMD on. We had the NVIDIA on that worked out nicely. AMD 100 calls, 50 cents, got about 100% change on that. We had the BABA calls, like I said, that was about 80%-ish on that one. Facebook calls, about 55%. The Tesla roll worked out nicely. I'm trying to find some stuff that didn't work. BA, we had the 130 calls for 129%. AMD, we talked about that. WW, we took the 3 calls, no, it's not 3 sevens for We got 150% on that. Fucho, really like the strength in the Chinese name today. We had 35 calls. That one was for about 380% to the upside. We had some Snap 15 calls for about 75%. Veru 14 calls. That one didn't work, so we lost on that one. Caesars 55 calls. That one didn't work as well. Basically had to exit flat. So a little loss on, I guess, the commission there. Not a big deal. It was a 12-cent contract, FYI. Dash, the 75 calls for 95%. Amazon, 2,400 calls. Those ones ended up not working. There was a lotto that we tried to take. EXPR, lotto, 3 calls that were worth 6 cents. Those ended up not working. But again, 6 cents. But we did swing them overnight just in case. And I believe Crowd for about 200% on that. AMC. We tried some calls on that. It worked for 50%-ish. Not, a great trade. And we talked about the GME, and that's pretty much about it, guys. Oh, Snow, that was the one I was looking for. Snow 100 puts. That was the only really short that we took today besides the PDD. But the Snow obviously didn't work. And once it didn't work this morning, I said that's a head fake. It's probably going to fill the gap and go green, and it literally did. So anyways, really nice trading on the options equity side. Looking forward to tomorrow, Lotto Friday. I expect some pretty good opportunity. Last week, we got 5 1,000% trades and multiple 900s and 500, 600. So I'm thinking we're going to have some nice range tomorrow if the market gets continuation, or it's going to be more of a consolidative day. If we get a reversal, then again, we're going to have range to the downside. So either way, I think we'll have some good opportunity. If you guys want to come trade with us, go to SpartanTrading.com. You can visit us there. Otherwise, you can click on the free Discord link as well in the bio, get a little bit of a taste of what we do. Of course, you don't have access to the streaming or all the alerts. But yeah, it's a good little way to get acquainted with who we are in our community. Anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.